Okay, good here. There. Hey everybody, welcome to the Meet Damien channel. I am Damien and I'm live streaming here from Martha's Vineyard. That's why you see a little different room behind me. We got the heart. Guys, don't forget to heart me here on my TikTok. I'm doing a TikTok live stream and a YouTube live stream. And so my live goal is to get you guys to come join the Meet Damien fan club and just heart me like you see right behind me. You see the heart. Don't forget to hit the heart me to come join the Meet Damien fan club. But in today's live stream, we're going to be talking about Bitcoin, of course, but we're going to actually look at total market cap. I want to take a look at that for you guys, and then I want to look at the Bitcoin dominance as well. And then yeah, let's see. I got a different setup here, guys, so just bear with me. And then after we talk about Bitcoin dominance and the altcoins season starting up here, then we'll talk about some of your user requests. I see that they're already pouring in. I see John 316 wants me to do ZBCN and Chronos, and then I see Ava Medina wants me to look at Pengu and HBAR. Appreciate that. We'll take a look at that, but let's get started here. I don't really have that much room for me to operate. I'm going to try my best to operate the camera as best as I can for my TikTok guys here. So just bear with me. I might, stumble and fumble here a little bit here because I don't got that much room for the desk here. But anyways, we see that the price of Bitcoin is at $118,500, and Bitcoin is doing pretty well. I think we're going to probably get a bounce off of these levels here, especially after that, bouncing off the Fibonacci at $114,000 Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin is primed and ready to go to higher prices and retest the all-time high of $123,000. But let's go ahead and look at the total market cap, okay? Because I really want to take a look at total market cap. Let me go ahead and type that in. Total market cap for Bitcoin and all the other altcoins here. We can see that the total market cap for crypto is at $3.85 trillion. We're up $30 billion today, up 0.79%. So money is pouring into this space. And if I start to zoom out, we're going to really zoom out here because I want to show you what we got going on here. Okay, in my eyes and what I see on the chart here, we have a rising wedge that we're still in. Okay. And you can see that this is now the weekly chart for a total cryptocurrency market. And I have drawn out, with these yellow lines here, we got an uptrend that we've been maintaining. And we also have another kind of like supply line where we might get rejected. There's a possibility that we might get rejected. I'm not sure why, but we might get rejected from where we're at right now. So prices in crypto might go down for some reason, or we might actually get a breakout out of this rising wedge. But what I can tell you with a rising wedge, all right, let me just get rid of the moving average for a second here. Just with a rising wedge, we know that rising wedges usually are bearish, okay, and usually you break out to the downside, okay. So that is something to keep in mind here, that even though things are getting really bullish right now, there's a chance that we might have to come back down and revisit these levels here, where we might see $3 trillion or even less than $3 trillion in the cryptocurrency market. And I'm not sure what the reason might be. However, there's still a possibility that we could break out to the upside out of this rising wedge here and just continue on. And if we do, I've heard some people say that we could possibly get up to like maybe $10 trillion. And I think if we get up to like $10 trillion in total market cap for cryptocurrency, that should be like kind of like a warning signal that things might be getting a little too hot and heavy in the cryptocurrency market. It might actually be time for us to start selling some of our cryptos that were in profit. And okay, we might also see something like that when we get to $5 trillion here on total market cap for cryptocurrencies. It's just a psychological number, but it could actually end up being a level where people want to actually start taking profit. So just keep that in mind if we do break out to the upside out of the total market cap for cryptocurrencies. Now let's go ahead and we'll take a look at BTC dominance, which is going to help us understand what's going on with the altcoins. Okay, altcoin season here. Just bear with me as this thing loads up. Okay, yeah, now we have Bitcoin dominance. It's sitting at 61%, and we want to continue seeing Bitcoin dominance dropping like it has been, because that will be good for our altcoins. We want our altcoins to start getting some life breathed into them a little bit here. Let me go into the daily chart. I'm going to zoom into the daily chart. I'm going to turn on the moving averages now. Okay, and here we have on Bitcoin dominance, right? We have prices. I mean, well, in this case, the dominance, the amount of money that's in Bitcoin, it's still there, but more money's pouring into altcoins, and that's causing the dominance of Bitcoin to start to decrease here. All right, as we saw consecutive red candles here in the middle of July. And then what ended up happening is we lost the 200-day moving average, which is really great to see. That's how I know that we're getting into the beginnings of an altcoin season here. And what made me feel even better about altcoin season starting up here is that once we broke the 200-day moving average, we came back and we bearishly retested and back tested the 200-day moving average here on Thursday. And now altcoin season can continue to thrive, in my opinion here. I want to see this obviously drop some more. I want to see BTC dominance get down into like the 50%. I don't want to see 60% BTC dominance anymore, because once we see dominance drop down into the 50s, we know for damn sure that we're in an altcoin season. And yeah, I also want to stay below this 200-day moving average, this red line here, because if we're below the 200-day moving average, then our altcoins can continue receiving more money into them, and people will become more excited about altcoins the way that we got excited back, last year in November and December. The same kind of enthusiasm that we had back in 2021. I want to see that with Bitcoin dominance, because we did go below the 200-day moving average in December of 2024, as some of y'all might remember. But also back here in 2021, if I zoom back out here, we really did damage and a number here on the Bitcoin dominance back in February 2021, where we lost that 200-day moving average, and we dropped like a rock all the way into May of 2021, and that's when Ethereum was making all-time highs and going up to like $44,000 for the first time. Yeah, we need to see more of that, and if Ethereum continues going up to $4,000 and making new all-time highs, then that's going to do a lot of damage to Bitcoin dominance. And the same thing with XRP making new all-time highs. If XRP can do that, then there's going to be a lot more damage being done on Bitcoin dominance here, and it's going to feel like an altcoin season. And I'm just glad to see that this is happening right before our eyes. You're allowed to be excited right now, like you were back in November and December of last year, because we are below that 200-day moving average, which is what I want to see. And I want to continue dropping like a rock here on Bitcoin dominance. All right, I see we got a few more people in the chat here. I see Trade Intuition. Joe is in the chat. Okay, I see you, Joe. All right. Let me quickly do a shout out to Joe, guys. For those of you who might not know Joe, right? He is a fellow YouTuber here, and let me see if I can just pull this up real quick. Joe's got a pretty good following here on YouTube, and some of his guys end up coming on to my channel to watch the analysis here. He's got about like a couple of thousand subscribers here. He also does technical analysis. He actually goes live around this time. And I think he's going live on Sunday, today at 4 p.m. Eastern time. And you can also catch him Monday through Friday from 12 p.m. Eastern time, Monday through Friday. So yeah, Joe has a lot of videos here about all kinds of assets and how to trade, how to become a better trader, and how to avoid those market gurus who think they're actually good at technical analysis, but they're not. All right. So he's still over here doing the Lord's work over here, and trying to help people out become better traders here and investors. And I'm trying to do the same thing here. But yeah, let me get over to some of the requests here. Yeah, Joe, you bring a good point. I actually wanted to show USDT dominance. Let's take a look at that real quick, and then we'll do the user requests here. And yeah, you might hear some voices in the background. I'm vacationing with some people, so just keep that in mind. I'm gonna try my best here to keep the live stream going, but you might hear some voices in the background. But anyways, going back to Tether dominance, we're looking at USDT dominance. Is at 4% right now, 4.23%. Clearly below the moving averages right now. The level that I want to see USDT dominance get down to, Joe, in my opinion, I want to see us get down to this 3.74% level, which I highlighted here with this red line here. USDT dominance, if it gets down to this level, might be a level where we might want to consider cashing out on our altcoin gains, our crypto gains. It's going to take a lot, but we're getting close to Tether dominance, getting down to like 3.7%. Once we get below that, we know for damn sure that we're in altcoin season, and you're going to probably want to start consider selling some of your cryptos and taking advantage of the fact that there's a lot of enthusiasm in the market. We have seen Tether dominance get down to like 2% in like February of 2021, and we've seen Tether dominance get down to like 2.5% in November 2021. So I think once we get to like into the 2% level on Tether dominance, then we need to actually consider heavily selling our cryptocurrency profits and gains here, because it might not get that good again. Okay, so we're looking at the levels here. I think once we get past 3.74%, it's like a warning, like a yellow light. And then the red light's going to be when we get down to 2% on dominance, and then that's going to be like, all right, you should probably consider selling, because it's probably not going to get as good as it is right now. But right now, we're at 4%, so Tether dominance could continue dropping, and we could continue making more money in these cryptocurrency assets, in my opinion. Okay. All right, let's go ahead. We'll start off with John's requests here for ZBCN and Kronos, and then I know I got to get to my TikTok, guys. I know you guys are making some requests here. I can see your requests here. I'm gonna write these things down, but I gotta get started here. I know Mar requested Polkadot. We'll take a look at that as soon as I can get to it. We're gonna do a 2-hour live stream here, guys. So there's no rush, but yeah, I am planning on going live for about the next 2 hours here and looking at some of these assets here with you guys. So that's the good bit of news that I got for you guys. Let's go ahead and look at the ZBCN. I think I like looking at Mexi Exchange. So yeah, ZBCN currently trading at 40,400, up 1% today, looking good. And I think with ZBCN, right? We were concerned about it here and dropping like a rock here in June. We caught the bids here. It looks like around 4th of July. Where we got the bounce off the 50-day moving average. I'm gonna have to zoom in here a little bit. Yeah, we got the bounce off the 50-day moving average on ZBCN, and then we came up. We got rejected off the 0.382 retracement level, only for us to then come revisit the 0.236 level and get a bounce near the 50-day moving average. So this thing is actually respecting the TA, in my opinion here, the technical analysis. And I think if we do come down to lower prices on ZBCN, we'll probably get another bounce off the 50-day moving average at 31,800, which is like right where this 0.236 retracement is hanging out at. If we do come down, but I think ZBCN is doing quite fine, moving up to higher prices. I wouldn't be surprised if we see ZBCN push through the 0.5 retracement at 45,000 for ZBCN, and then push its way up to like 50,000. I think 50,000 might be an area where we get rejected or kind of trade sideways in the near future here. So just keep that in mind, that your first take profit target is going to be somewhere at like 50,000 for ZBCN. And then, obviously your second take profit target is probably going to be a little bit higher at like maybe like 0.786 when we get to the 60,000 level. And I would probably put take profit target 3 at 71,000. I think those targets will still hold true for you as you continue making money here on ZBCN. And if I go over to the RSI, let's see if the RSI is overcooked, overbought. You're not even overcooked or overbought. This is actually looking like a pretty good asset to actually throw some money in and make some money, because I think this thing has room to go to the upside. And I think the downside is very limited right now on ZBCN. So I would consider getting my hands on ZBCN if you can. I'm not sure what exchanges you can get ZBCN. Looks like we're getting this data off of Mexi, but yeah, if you go on to Mexi exchange, I think you can get your hands on this asset as it tries to make a run up to higher prices here. Alright, so that's ZBCN, and now we'll take a look at Chronos. Alright, take a look at Chronos. Appreciate that request. And then we'll move on to some other assets here. Okay, so we're now looking at the Chronos, currently trading at 13, almost 14 cents here. We're having a little bit of a red day here, down 1.7%. And Chronos, I think, has made its move, right? And I believe we are overbought. Yeah, because we looked at this yesterday, but we're looking at it again. And this thing is overbought with RSI levels at like 80, 79 right now. But we've seen it at 84 yesterday. And this thing just needs to cool down and chill out for a second, in my opinion. Anytime your RSI is above 70, you're overbought. And you probably most likely will either go sideways or you'll start going down in price, okay? The likelihood of you going to higher prices is slim to none when you have overbought levels, unless there's a really good catalyst and reason for you to be up at and going to higher prices than where you're already at. So we do have to kind of like chill out for a little bit here on ZBCN, and if we do and end up chilling out, maybe we trade sideways and just continue staying at like 13-14 cents. But we could get a violent reaction down that would take us to 11.5 cents is where I see ZBCN trading at if we start losing the bullish momentum here for any reason. But I think if we do come down to 11.5 cents, you got the 21 EMA should possibly act as a moving average that we could bounce off of. It looks like this 21 EMA is trying to race to the scene of the accident here and try to provide support if it can. So this 21 EMA is going to try to get back up to where the price is, this white line, and that could act as initial support. That 21 EMA is sitting at the same level as the 11.5 cent level here. So I think 11.5 cents is your support level for now on ZBCN if we do come down to lower prices. And upside targets, I think we talked about this yesterday, but just looking at previous price action here, I think like 16 cents should be your take profit target on on Chronos here. That is a level where we had some rejection candles where we got rejected off a price at that area and we traded sideways for the most part. I think that should be a take profit target. And then of course, higher than that, we do have the 18 cent level where we kind of trade sideways here in December at those levels. I think 18 cents would be another level for you to take profit on your Chronos investment. All right. Let's go ahead and I'm going to try to take care of my user requests here on TikTok. I'm doing both TikTok and YouTube. I see Mars in the chat. Hello, Mar. We'll look at Polkadot for you, okay? And then let's see. What do I have any other requests here? Guys, don't forget to hit the like button. Let's see if we get the likes to match the amount of viewers that are on the stream right now. Let TikTok and YouTube know that we got a good stream here going, so more people can come join us and we can take a look at more assets here. But yeah, I am looking at your assets here, and I see we got DZ asking about ESX. I got your request, appreciate that. And then also we got Ava wants me to look at Tengu and H-bar. I'm going to break those down as well. Okay. All right. Let's see. And then what else? Let's see. Duality's in the chat. I see you, Duality. See. Appreciate you coming on board. And let's see. Trade Intuition says that US dollar Thomas is going down. Total 3 is going up. Coins aren't really moving. Where is the money going? That is a good question. I believe it's going into Pengu. We'll take a look at Pengu. But yeah, we'll have to figure that out here together. All right. Let's look at like I said, we're gonna look at Polkadot. Take a look at Dot. Polkadot. USD. Alright, so here we got Polkadot trading at $4.19 as my chart starts to load up here. And I have done some previous Fibonacci analysis, so we'll take a look at the previous Fibonacci analysis and see what that has to say. So I did measure from like the top here at $5.39 down to the bottom here at like $3, and it gives me these Fibonacci levels, and it looks like Polkadot has, you know, respected the 200-day moving average like a boss, and got rejected, and looks like we're kind of gaining a little bit of support near the 100-day moving average on Polkadot. I think you're doing quite fine on Polkadot. We'll see if we can push right back up to that 200-day moving average, which is sitting at $4.48. And that's literally right where the 618 Fibonacci golden pocket retracement level's at. I think $4.48, you're probably going to get rejected maybe one more time there, unless you can show and prove that you actually are very bullish on Polkadot. And yeah, if it could end up, you know, overshooting to the upside and going up to $4.88, which looks like it's going to be a fib level that we have to look out for here. The 0.786 retracement on Polkadot. And then of course we'll see how Polkadot handles itself if it does make it up to $5.39.40 here. That is a level that I think we got up to, yeah, we got up to that level back here on May 12th. So that if we can get past 539 on Polkadot, that signifies that we are actually making higher highs and not just lower highs here. And we could be in the beginning of an uptrend on Polkadot. And if Polkadot does continue going up to higher prices, I mean, we do have the 1618 here at 686, which is a level that people were buying Polkadot back in January of 2025 here. And then we got a 2618 that says we could see $9.23 Polkadot, which is the level that we were trading at back here in December of last year. So I think those are still your upside targets once you get past 539. But you got to get past 539 and prove to everybody around the world that you're able to make higher highs here, okay? But yeah, I think Polkadot's doing just fine. Downside target, I mean, I'm not sure if you're day trading this or not, but I would just put my stop loss right below the last candle wick low here, below $3.86. You know, $3.86 here. Needs to be respected, or else there might be something wrong with Polkadot and we might end up coming down and maybe revisiting the 0.236 level here at 358, or maybe visiting the lows that we made back here in July. But we'll see. I think if Bitcoin is making new all-time highs later on this week or next, or you know, next month, then I highly doubt Polkadot is going to just go down to these levels here. So I think you're doing quite fine on Polkadot. Let's just look at the RSI real quick, see if it's overheated or overbought. And I do not see any heated or overbought levels here, where Polkadot is currently trading with an RSI of like 56 on the daily time frame here. So I think Polkadot is primed and ready to go to higher prices, in my opinion. I would believe that this thing is ready to go if Bitcoin gives it the permission slip to go to higher prices. And yeah, we're still waiting on Bitcoin to go to higher prices. And I think Bitcoin is doing quite fine, but we'll talk about Bitcoin at a later time. I know you guys want to talk about your altcoins here, and that we will do. We will do that. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at ESX. I don't think I ever got this request, so I'm a little bit curious if I can find it here. All right, nope, not that. ESX. I believe that's a cryptocurrency, right? Looks like it's trading on Kraken Exchange. Let me get out of the... Oh, man. I need to get out of this RSI stuff here. Alright. So now we're looking at ESX, currently trading at about a penny and a half, up 12.5% today. That's good. Good to see. And there's not much data that I can pull off of ESX because it looks like it started trading on Kraken on June 20th of 2025. Earlier this or last month here. All right. I see you, me and Blue. I see your request for Tay. I'll appreciate you putting that request in. Thank you. We'll take a look at that. We got a few more requests before that to go over. But yeah, let's look at we're looking at ESX. If you're able to tell me what other cryptocurrency exchange ESX trades on, maybe I can get some more data. But I don't really have that much to work with here. I don't have any moving averages except for like the 21 EMA. All I can do is just look at market structure on this cryptocurrency and maybe do a Fibonacci analysis. And yeah, I think I will do that Fibonacci analysis for you. So just measuring from the top here, where let's see, this thing got as high as about 0.033 pennies. So we'll measure from that down to the swing low here, where we saw this thing get as low as 0.011 pennies. So we'll put that as the bottom for the Fibonacci here. And looks like if we were to continue to higher prices here, we might actually get rejected at about a 0.016 pennies, which is the 0.236 retracement. We'll see how it handles itself. I see it. Did we do that today? We got up to 0.0160. So we're kind of pushing our way up into this red zone. This 0.236 level here could act as resistance in the near term for ESX. If we're able to push through, and I guess I'll just have to draw this out for you. But if we're able to push through past 236, we'll see how it handles the levels when it gets to like the 0.382 level here. That could be another level where it gets rejected at like 0.019 pennies. If it doesn't get rejected there, then we can continue going forward. But I think once we get up to like the golden pocket, sitting at like 0.02 pennies, 0.024 pennies, about 2.5 cents here. I think that's probably where you're gonna get initially rejected, maybe come down, maybe revisit 2 pennies all over again here, then come back up and try to go to higher prices for ESX here. But we'll see. That's all I can do for you is, you know, you might be catching the bottom here, and you can strategically, you know, plan to put your stop loss right below the lows here on Friday. This thing got as low as like 0.011 pennies, so I'd probably put the stop loss at like 1 penny. And if it goes below 1 penny, then there's something wrong with this asset, and we'll just have to try again at a lower price to get, you know, back into this asset here. But yeah, I think you might be all right with this one. Just stop loss at 1 penny or less than 1 penny, and then you can ride this thing back up to like 2 or 2.5 pennies to the upside. All right. So I got some more requests coming in from my my TikTok live streamers here. And D says ESX is on Mexi. I'm just curious. Let's see if I'm able to pull up more data here on Mexi Exchange. Yeah, it's the same thing with Mexi. This thing is like a brand new asset, so there's really not much I can do besides just doing a Fibonacci analysis. All right, but yeah, we got some more requests coming in. I appreciate you guys. Kaza Aku is asking me what are the settings for the EMAs. So let me just move on probably to the next asset here. I do a 50-day, a 100-day, and a 200-day moving average here. And then I also do a 21 EMA. But let me go ahead and see if I can pull up Pudgy Penguins here real quick. And I guess, yeah, I don't really have. So if I go into the 1 hour time frame. So yeah, so my settings here for the moving averages is, you know, I got the 200-day as this red line. And then I got the 100-day as this blue line. And I got the 50-day as this green line. And then the 21 exponential moving average is what I use for this white line. And the white line is pretty much always going to be next to where the price is. Because it's a level where the asset usually trades at, and when we get too far away from the 21 EMA, we end up coming right back to it. Okay, but we can always do a tutorial video on the moving averages at another time. Let's get right into these requests here. And then CC's asking me, did I do my research on Figma? I have looked at Figma. I'm not sure if it's an asset that I want to get into, um, but it is on my radar as a possible asset to get on board with here. Yeah. Uh, oh, okay. Yep. Yeah, I was waiting for that boat. I finally made it to Martha's Vineyard here. Yep. Yep. And let me see. I'm just looking at the other requests here. I want to make sure I don't miss anything. I did get a good amount of requests over the last couple of minutes here. Yeah, but we're gonna look at Pango, and then I see Athena is an asset that we got to look at. Okay, and then what else? What else? Momo. We'll take a look at Momo. All right. I'm gonna be live streaming for 2 hours, so we'll get to these assets eventually here. And then yeah, we looked at we're gonna look at Tay as well, and then SHX. Okay, appreciate that. Guys, if you can, if you're loving my analysis, don't forget to hit the heart. I'm trying to get some hearts here on my TikTok live stream. And then Kazu, you're asking about stop loss. Was that for ESX? I think you requested ESX. Right? No, it was somebody else. Yeah. I don't know what you mean. Where would you put your stop loss? What asset are you talking about for stop losses here? And then I got another request from Coin from Solana asking about Ani. And okay, we'll look at Ani at some point here. And let's see. I see Idris in the chat. Appreciate you coming up into the live stream here. Appreciate that. Yeah, see, I don't really like get excited about an IPO. You know, if I was really excited, I would probably start a small position, see how it goes, and then I would try to see if I can get in at a lower price than where the IPO started at. And if it doesn't go lower than where I bought it on the first day, then you know that means I made money, right? And then I would just have to see how it trades and see if I'm able to buy any dips on it. All right, yeah, let's see. We'll look at Pepe for you and ZBEC. We actually looked at ZBEC earlier today on the live stream, but maybe I'll do a quick summary analysis on it. All right. Okay, I got a lot of coins to look at here. You guys are gonna keep me very busy here. I actually need I'm kind of freezing my butt here. I gotta turn the AC off real quick. Just hold on a second here, guys. All right. Alrighty, back with you guys. Yeah, Ava, yeah, my TikTok guys, they know their coins, they know their stuff. I got a bigger following there, and my TikTok streamers, they're big on crypto here, and they know their coins, and I'm just out here trying to help them figure out where's a good place to get in and buy the dips here if we're able to. And then I see Chiyama wants to look at Litecoin. All right. Now I know I had Pango here on this on the charts here forever. Let me go ahead and do my analysis on Pango. Let's get started here. All right, so we'll go into the daily chart for Pango. And Pango has just been making money hand over fist here. This is a meme coin that looks like it started trading on Coinbase back in like February of 2025. And I believe the reason why Pudgy Penguin is just catching so many bids right now is because they became a validator for Solana, and they're actually making money. And I think they're also like selling selling merchandise and stuff like that. So they're actually like making money, and I think they're I don't know if they're allowing the stakers and users to actually do staking with it. But you know, if they're making money, then they could probably start burning some of their coins, and if they can start getting rid of the extra coins out there, that actually makes this asset more valuable. If they start burning the coins for for their asset here. So we'll see. We'll see. It's good to know that they are making money, but let's see if they're able to share the wealth here. All right. But let's look at Penga. Pengu is trading at 0.043 pennies here. I don't think it's ever been this high before. Maybe it has. Yeah, it looks like we've seen on Wednesday this thing was trading at 0.046 pennies. If this thing continues going up to the upside, I still have a Fibonacci analysis here that says we might continue going to 1618. And then we might have the 2618 saying that this thing could get to like 6.5 pennies. But I really don't know when this thing is actually going to stop going up. There could be a possibility that we could see this thing at 8 pennies, and then you'd be basically doubling your money. And if you double your money, in my opinion, you should be clicking the sell button. But yeah, I don't really have much to go off of here on the daily chart as far as like going to the downside. If this thing stops being so damn bullish, then maybe we might come down to the 21 exponential moving average, which is sitting at 3 pennies. I think 3 pennies is also like a psychological number for people to be like, all right, this thing's at 3 pennies. I can actually buy the dip and see if this thing goes to 6 pennies and then try to double your money with that. All right. Doge Scan saying sup Obama. Okay, I'm not sure who's Obama. You saying I look like Obama? I've had like some people say I look like some MMA fighters, and I look like I don't know. Some people say I look like Muhammad Ali sometimes, or whatever. But yeah, guys, go ahead and put in the comments what kind of famous person you think I look like. I guess Doge Scan thinks I look like Obama over here, or maybe I sound like Obama. You're gonna have to elaborate on that. All right, and then Christian is asking about F-Wong. Appreciate that request. Good, good. So yeah, I don't really know what to make out of Pudgy Penguins besides this thing is just gonna continue going up to higher prices like it's been doing all throughout the month of July here in June. All right, what I can do is I can look at the RSI. And the RSI is saying that this thing is still overbought at 75.91. But it seems like that don't matter to Pudgy Penguins. So it can continue being overbought. And we did have a red dot here on Market Cipher B. Saying that, you know, Friday was a good day to sell. But I think that, I'm not even sure if you can use Market Cipher B. Because all that does is, if you see a red dot, that just means like this could be a buying opportunity to buy some cheaper Pudgy Penguins over here. And then if you see the green dot, it probably means that, yeah, you're gonna see this thing go up to higher prices again. Okay, so that's all I can make with Market Cipher B, because this thing is just one of the most extremely bullish assets to be in for 2025, in my opinion. All right, so yeah, keep doing what you're doing, Pudgy Penguins, and we'll see you at 6 cents, I guess. All right, so that's Pudgy Penguins. We'll move on to H-Bar and then take a look at Thai. And I just want to do a quick sound check. Guys, how do I sound? Is everything good? Is the music too loud? Do I need to turn down the music? Just want to do a quick sound check for myself. I think it sounds fine. Sometimes I watch the replays of my videos just to see like how was the music levels here. Alright, and Joe says that the sound is good. Alrighty. Let's go ahead. We'll take a look at H-Bar. H-Bar currently trading at roughly 28 cents, almost 29 cents here. And I have done previous analysis here, so I'll keep that Fibonacci right where it's at. Looks like we're on our way to 29 cents. If we could continue being bullish here on H-Bar, we saw H-Bar actually get up to like 30 cents today. So we already did the thing. But hopefully we don't turn this into a double top, because this could actually be a double top, because we did see H-Bar get up to 29, almost 30 cents here on Friday, July 18th. So we gotta continue pushing up the higher prices, or else this could be considered a double top, which would send us down to lower prices. And if we do go down to low prices, I think we could revisit the 23 cent level here, which is where the golden pocket is sitting at for H-Bar. Or maybe we might do a further correction down to the 200-day moving average sitting at 20 cents here, roughly 20, 21 cents. Okay. So those are your downside targets for H bar. But if we continue going up to higher prices here around H bar, we do have a 1272 that says this thing could get up to 34 cents and might get a little bit overbought and need to cool down. Or we might actually continue further and just go right to the 1618 at 40 cents. And I think 40 cents is a level that most traders would actually click the sell button to try and take some of their profits here. But yeah, 40 cents and 34 cents are your upside targets for H-bar, in my opinion. Okay? And I'm just trying to see if that H-bar has ever been that high. Looks like back in January of this year, we were at 40 cents. And then also like kind of December 3rd, we were at 40 cents. So I really do think 40 cents is like what, the all-time high maybe on H-bar. I don't know if we ever been that high. But just looking at the charts here, the highs from last year were at 40 cents, and the 1618 is saying 40 cents. So I think 40 cents is probably going to be a level that most traders and investors all around the world are going to at least consider selling their H-bar at. Okay? So yeah, I think 40 cents is your long-term take profit target on H-bar, Hedera. All right. Oh, did it go to 51? It might have. I'm looking at the data coming off of Coinbase Exchange. If it went higher than that, I believe it. So yeah, that's probably, if that's the case, then 51 and 57 are going to also be your long-term take profit targets on H-bar. Right now, I'm just pulling data off of Coinbase Exchange, but let's see. If I go to another exchange here, maybe like Binance. Because I know Coinbase gets their coins later than some of these other exchanges. But yeah, if I zoom out here, you said it got higher than that, and yeah, it did. At least on Binance Exchange, you're right. Yeah, it got up to like 58 cents is what I'm seeing. Yeah, that could be your other take profit target. But I just think from like, you know, people who bought last year and earlier in January of this year, they're going to want to click the sell button just to break even at 40 cents. I still think 40 cents is your take profit long-term target if it does make it up to that level. All right, and we have a request for Ondo. Appreciate that. We got a lot of requests ahead of that, so you're gonna have to stick around. But I'm gonna be probably live streaming for like the next hour and a half here. All right. Okay, let's move on. Oh, see, this is what I was saying. Like, I don't have that much room on this desk. I might have to, for my next live stream, make some adjustments here. But my phone just fell down. I got like a little phone mount here, holding my phone. This is my live stream for TikTok. I'm still using a phone here. I would like TikTok to let me do a live stream on the computer so I can just do TikTok and YouTube at the same time. But I don't know. We'll see. Or maybe I just do a dedicated TikTok stream just using my webcam here. All right. After H-bar, we gotta look at TAI. Okay, let's take a look at TAI. TAI. I'm assuming that's a crypto because you guys like calling cryptos. Yeah. Yep. There we go. And we got TAI or TARS. I should have known. TARS protocol on Mexi Exchange. Let's take a look at that. Currently trading at 7 cents, up 2.86% today. And I do have previous chart work here with TARS AI. And, you know, I saw, you know, let me get rid of the moving averages real quick. I saw that TARS AI was kind of in a symmetrical triangle here, and we were expecting some resolution sometime towards the end of July, which is kind of like right now. And TARS AI is just not doing anything right now. So, I mean, the problem with using trend lines is that you then have to make adjustments here as you start getting more data. And it's not really, it's kind of like objective and not, you know, you can continue making adjustments here, but I mean, this is probably what it's going to look like at. So I think TARS AI is probably going to just frustrate the hell out of a lot of investors and traders just going sideways for now. I don't know what you guys need to do to get this thing to start going up again. I guess it's better than going down, right? To go sideways. But tell the marketing team at Tars AI to start putting the word out, so that way you guys can start catching some bids here. But yeah, I mean, if you want to treat this like a stable coin, that's pretty much what Tars AI is doing here at like 7 cents. Okay. I really can't make much of it. This thing looks very frustrating, in my opinion, to be in. Just trading sideways while everything else is catching the bids here. But yeah, we did see Tars AI, you know, as high as like 49 cents in December of 2024. And I have previous chart work here saying that I think 16.5 cents is your upside target on Tars AI. That's where we got as high back. We got to 16.5 cents on May 27th here. And this is also a level where we've had some rejection back in 2024. We got rejected at that price level. And we try to treat it as support back here in February of 2025. So I still think 16.5 cents still rings true. That traders and investors are going to click the sell button just to break even if the price gets back up to that level here. But you can strategically place your stop loss right below the candle wick here on June 22nd, where we got as low as like 6 cents. Probably put the stop loss at like just below 6 cents. And you're just hoping that this thing actually starts catching the bids again to go to higher prices here. And if it goes below 6 cents, then there might be something wrong with Tars AI. You might have to, you know, try again at a lower level, maybe 2.5 cents. I do all this talking and then my mouth gets a little bit dry here. Kay wants to look at AVAX. Okay, I got you on AVAX. That's going to be right after Ondo here. But there's a good amount of requests. I don't know. Let me just show you guys what I have for requests here. Okay. Yep, it looks like that. And then also for my YouTube guys, this is what it looks like. Okay, these are the requests. So yeah, a lot of requests, but we'll get to it. It's gonna be like a 2-hour live stream. We're probably like 30 minutes into a 2-hour live stream here. So yeah, well maybe 40 minutes into this 2-hour live stream. All right, I'll keep it moving here. I give you the downside target. Don't go below 6 cents on Tars AI. Upside targets, you could probably see 16 cents if this thing actually catches the bids here. Alright, we'll look at Athena, ENA. I'm just really afraid that my phone mount is going to fall down on me here. Alright. Looking at Athena. Currently trading at 67 cents, up 9% today. Alright, so you're catching some bids. So this asset is actually moving, unlike Tars AI. Okay. And I'm just zooming out here just to see what we've done in the past here. I see probably some sideways trading action at 87 cents and 83 cents. That could be where we might get rejected if we continue going to higher prices on Athena. I'm actually going to turn on the VRVP, because I think this is going to be helpful since we have some previous price action to look at. And right now, just looking at Athena, I got the VRVP indicator, which is these green and red bars on the right side of the chart. And this is just compiling all the data from all the buys and sells. The green is all the buying, and the red is all the selling. And it just shows you at what price level this buying and selling was happening at. And I think Athena is ready to go to higher prices here if it continues the bullish momentum. You got a drop in the VRVP here. You got almost like a gap. And you don't really get much more volume until like 83 cents. I think 83 cents is your upside target on Athena. And then also 91 cents. So like anywhere between like 83 to like 93 or even $1. Is probably where we'll get rejected once we get up to that level, okay, for Athena. If we do come down, right, we do have the value area high right below us. at like 51 cents. I think 51 cents could be a support area and a buying opportunity if you do see Athena actually go down to those prices there. Okay, but let's zoom in a little bit. I don't know if you want me to do a Fibonacci analysis. I think that was pretty good with just the VRVP here. But let's turn on the moving averages. Moving averages, you could get support at the turn of the day at 42 cents. Okay, but I think 51 cents is probably going to where we get some support at, just based off of the previous action from the VRVP. Like if I turn the VRVP, you'll see like a little bit of a high volume node here at like 50 cents. Could be a support area for Athena. And yeah, I'm not going to do a Fibonacci analysis. I think just using the VRVP is good enough for now. I got to move on to the other coins here. Let's look at Momo, and then we got SHX after that. Ricky Ricardo says, Bitcoin's big next move is right around the corner. I'm right there with you, bro. I think Bitcoin might go up to all-time highs later on this week after it cooled down this week. I think it's ready to pleasantly surprise everybody to the upside here. Kushboy saying, let's look at YFI. Alright, I got you. We'll get to it. And Frankie is asking about XRP. Alright, we'll get XRP, but we're going to save that towards the end here because I got a bunch of requests here. Alright, there's your XRP. We got all these other coins to look at after XRP. Alright. I mean, all these coins we got to look at before we even get to XRP. Alright. But yeah, I think XRP is going to do quite fine. If you're not able to stick long enough to look at the analysis here, I think XRP is going to head up to $4 from what I've seen before looking at the charts. Let's go to Momo. Momo in the chat. Is this a meme coin? I can't keep track of all the thousands of coins that are out there, but I'm assuming this is a meme coin. Maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it's got maybe it's a utility coin. But yeah, we're looking at Momo currently trading at 0.027 pennies, down 5.3% today. And I'm getting data off of Mexi Exchange, and this is very freaking weird. This is the daily chart for Momo. Did this thing get delisted? So it looks like it started trading in January of 2025 here. And then it just dropped like a rock. Let me get rid of the moving averages here real quick. You see what I'm saying? Like, this thing looks like it got delisted and then it got relisted. Yeah, this thing stopped trading on Mexi Exchange in February. And then it came back on Mexi Exchange on July. Okay. Were they doing something illegal or something? And then did somebody get in trouble and then they got rid of that person and then they brought this project back to life again? But I'm looking at Momo, and there's not much I can really do, but I'll try to do a quick Fibonacci analysis if I can. Yeah. And I'm just going to measure from the impulse move to, like, the highs here. And it gives me that. And that's all I can really do for you, for your Momo here. Momo got as high as like almost 5 pennies at 0.048 pennies. And it just looks like you're chilling out near the 0.382 retracement here. If Momo continues going down to lower prices, maybe you start catching some bids at like 2 pennies, where the 0.236 retracement is sitting at. But yeah, I don't know why Momo is even worth getting into, to be honest with you. I'm not trying to hate on it, but anytime something gets delisted, there's usually good reasons for that, and then it got relisted, so now it has a lot of proving to do, in my opinion. And I think this thing is more likely to come down than it is to go up. But I could be wrong. And if it does go up, then I would think it would try to revisit the 3.5 cent level, which is where your golden pocket is sitting at. And then upside targets after that would be 0.786 at 4 pennies. And then, of course, the all-time high, which was made, what, yesterday? At like almost 5 pennies, 0.048 pennies. So that's all I can do for analysis on that one. Was that you that requested that? Momo Medina? Did you request that? I can't really remember. I think someone, either you or someone else requested it. Like, I don't know much about it, but you're saying it's a meme coin? It's like one of Bonk's sister coins? That's interesting. Okay. Momo. Interesting. Alright, let's take a look at SHX for the next coin. Stronghold. Okay. And now we're looking at SHX, currently trading at 2 pennies, roughly 0.021 pennies to be exact. And what do we got here for SHX? Let me go ahead and turn the moving averages. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, it's clearly above all the moving averages, so I don't think that's useful at all right now. Let me just zoom out, get more familiar with this chart. Looks like you started trading on Mexi back in March of 2024. Okay. And I think since we got all this data, I could just turn on the VRVP and do an analysis with that. Okay, so very interesting. I'm not even sure if that's as useful because most of the action on the VRVP, the value area high, which is this, you know, white line here, to the value area low, which is this other white line, this is considered the value area. You're clearly above the value area, so yeah, you're bullish as of now. Okay. But, I mean, if we start losing the momentum here and going down the low prices, then the value area high could act as support at, like, roughly 0.01, about a penny and a half, roughly. Okay? So I'm not even going to use the VRVP because I don't think that's even useful at this point. I'm going to just have to do a Fibonacci on this one. Okay? And what I'll do is I'll measure from the highs, like this thing as high as roughly almost 3 pennies, down to the impulse move here at a penny and a half. Okay. And what do we got? What do we got? Okay, so we are looking at us trading at basically the 0.5 retracement level here on SHX. If you were to come down to lower levels, lower price levels, there could be the 2 cent level, which is kind of like a psychological level, and it's not too far off from where we're at right now. But maybe you might start catching bids out of nowhere when we get to 0.017 pennies here at the 0.236 retracement level. Okay, could act as a magical level where we just reverse our trend if we do go to the downside. This could be a pivot point for us. Okay. But if we do go to the upside here, I think the golden pocket could be a rejection at 0.023 pennies. And then we also could get another possible rejection at the 0.25 penny levels or 2.5 cent level before we start making our way up to like 3 cents here on SHX. I think those are your upside targets. And then of course you got your downside targets right over here. Okay. And that's all I can really do for SHX as of now for your upside downside targets. Let's move on to Ani on Solana. Guys, don't forget to hit that like button. For my TikTok guys, go ahead and double tap your screen. Show some appreciation for my analysis if you're enjoying it so far. And then for my YouTube guys, don't forget to smash that like button. Appreciate that. All right. Okay. Ani USD. I hope I got the right one here. Let's see. I'll take a look at it on Mexi. Ani Grant. Let's see. So this is a brand new coin. There's not really much I can do with Ani if it's a brand new coin. Let's see if I got it on BitGet. Yeah, there's not much I can do for analysis on a brand spanking new coin here. I clearly don't have any moving averages to work with on the daily time frame. And we don't have that much data or history on it. The only thing I can do is do a quick Fibonacci. And that's what I'll do for ya. Right, and that's as low as it got down there. Okay, all right. So we're currently chilling out. Like, looks like we're chilling out at the 0.382 level here at 3.5 pennies for Ani. Okay. If this thing does decide to go to lower prices, we might get some support at 0.022 pennies, where you got the 0.236 retracement as your downside target. Up to the upside, we might get rejected if we actually make it up to like 5.5 pennies or even 0.058 pennies, where you got the golden pocket, could act as a rejection zone. If you continue being bullish, you got the 0.786 at 7 pennies, and then you got basically your all-time highs here at almost 9 pennies. Did we get up to 9 pennies? We got up to like 0.089 pennies here. So that's going to be your upside target if this thing does catch some bids here. But yeah, I get it. Like, this thing could triple from where it is if it just gets back to where it was. What? This Wednesday? Earlier this week? Alright, if that's the kind of game you want to play, you know, might be worth trying to play it. You might be catching the bottom here on Ani, but I think you could see this thing go down to 2 pennies, and then you lose like a 33%. You get it like basically like a 33% drop. So you're risking 33% to try and get a triple here. Let me just show you real quick here. We could come down to this 2 penny level. And you're risking, look at that, 34%. Alright? And, you know, it could drop even further. It could drop to like where it basically started, and you lose like 90%. So just keep that in mind. Like, keep your stop loss tight. But you might be catching the bottom. So, high risk, high reward, right? Because if you do go up to that 9-cent level, again, like you did earlier this week, you could see a 167% gainer. So choose your poison, choose your you know, your horse, you know, whatever. If this is the horse you want to run on, just keep your stop loss somewhere where it's manageable, where you're losing like maybe no more than like 10 or 20% on this meme coin. I'm assuming it's a meme coin. I don't know if is it a utility coin? You have to tell me in the comments. So yeah, that's Ani. Now we'll move on to an actual meme coin that I know of, and that's Pepe. Alright, let's take a look at the Pepe. World wants me to look at Cocking You. Okay, I got you. That's gonna come after XRP here. And I got you. I got you on that. Yep. Just remind me if I forget. Alright. Going through the requests here. Oh yeah, I wrote down YFI. Yep. Alright, so we're looking at Pepe. Currently trading at 1200, 1265 here. Up 2%. Done previous analysis on Pepe using the Fibonacci, and looks like we're just hanging out near the golden pocket, right? Until we actually start catching some bids, we're probably just gonna chill out at 1265 for now. If we do catch the bids here, we'll probably see 13 or 1400 here. We'll probably see 1400 on Pepe, where the 0.786 retracement is hanging out at. And then, of course, we want to see if Pepe can get up to like 1634 here, which is, I think, is where we were at back in May. Yeah, 1632. So that should be your swing trading take profit target is 1600, 1630 in that area. I don't know if Pepe is actually going to catch more bids and actually get up to the 1618 here at 2300, but that is a level to be looking out for if you're in it for the long term, and you'll basically be doubling your money on Pepe. But on the downside, Downside, we do have the 50-day moving average sitting at the 1126, which is kind of confluent with a 0.5 retracement at 1081. I think that's your downside target if for some reason Pepe decides to drop down on you. This could be a buying opportunity if it does get down to this 50-day moving average. And I think that should be your downside target for now. Maybe even the 200-day moving average at 1055. But I think, you know, if Bitcoin is moving on to new all-time highs and more money is going to pour into Pepe, you don't have to worry about this dropping down that low because it'll most likely start hitting the upside targets, in my opinion. All right, moving on to we'll do a quick analysis here on ZBET because we already talked about it on the stream. But I got you, bro. We'll just do this real quick here. If this thing decides to load. Alright, so ZBET is doing quite fine. If it does come down for any reason, you got some support here on the 50-day moving average at 31,000. And then you got the 0.236 at 34,000. Could be where you get some cheaper ZBET if it does go down that low. To the upside, you got the 618 at 50,000. 53,000 is where ZBET could get sold at and get rejected. Also, you got the 786 at 61,000, and then of course we want to see this thing get back up to 71,000, and then we'll see how we feel about that asset when it actually gets to that level. But if it does get up to $71,000, I'm sorry, not dollars, but if it does get up to like 71,000 points here, then you're pretty much doubling your money from where we're at right now, and I think you should consider clicking that sell button, in my opinion. And that's ZBET. Now we'll move on to Litecoin. And yeah, I have been looking at Litecoin. I actually have done a big giant Fibonacci analysis on Litecoin. I think we actually might have talked about it. Did we talk about it yesterday? I can't remember. But I think going forward, I think Litecoin is trying to make its way up to the 0.786 retracement level here. At $129, $130 is probably where we're going to get a rejection. And I highlighted that with this red line, that red number at $130. I think $130 should act as a resistance, because this has been previous support and resistance in the past at that level. So $130 I think is where Litecoin goes next if it's going to continue being bullish. And then we'll see if Litecoin can actually get back to $147 like it did back in December of last year. That should be a second take profit target. A long-term swing trading take profit target. Then you got possibly Litecoin could get up to 170 bucks. And it could also possibly get up to 199 or basically $200, which is your 1618 fib extension level. But if, you know, Bitcoin starts going down and drags the old coins down with it, then we could see Litecoin come down to the 0.5 retracement at 105 bucks here, which is where we got some candle wick highs and closes at that level back in May, you know, middle of May earlier this year. And then also there is a 200-day moving average sitting at about 97 bucks, which is confluent with the 0.382 retracement level. So we could see $97 for Litecoin if we start losing the bullish momentum. But that's after losing the $105 level. So we'll see. Those are your downside targets. Those are your buying opportunities. If you see Litecoin get to 105, might want to start buying some more. See it get down to like 95, 97 bucks. Maybe buy some more. If you're bullishly biased on this asset here. Okay, and I think if you're above the 200-day moving average, you can still continue to be bullish on this asset. All right, moving on to FWOG. I believe that's. I forgot. I didn't really draw out the G on that. FWOG. And we're looking at FWOG currently trading at 0.048 pennies. Slightly up today. Not really doing too much. Let me just zoom in here. Obviously, FLOG had better days back in January and December. But we can't be living in the past. We're trying to live in the present here. And this is what FLOG is doing for us right now. FLOG, I could see it making higher lows here. Okay, you got kind of like an uptrend going on here. Don't lose this uptrend and just keep doing what you're doing, and FLOG can start catching some bids here. But I think you might get rejected off this 2-day moving average, sitting at about 6.5 cents, 0.066 pennies, is where you could get rejected. Maybe come back down to like 5 pennies again, only if you didn't create a higher low and start actually moving up to the upside here. FLOG, I would consider this a coin to watch. And then I eventually want to see FLOG start making higher highs again, and get at least, get above 7 pennies here, and then get above this candlewick high here at like 10 pennies, and then of course get above the highs here back in May at like 12.5 pennies. So we'll see if it's capable of doing that, but that's what you need to do in order for us to continue being bullish on FLOG, in my opinion. Downside, right? FLOG, I don't even have to do a Fibonacci, but just don't lose this last low here in on July 8th, where you got down to like 3.5 pennies. You can put your stop loss right below that 3.5 penny level. And if you lose 3.5 pennies, then there might be something wrong with FLOG, and you probably don't want to stick around to find out what that might be. So yeah, that's your downside targets for FLOG, and I just did the upside as well. Moving on to Ondo. Ondo currently trading at about $1.04 here. You got above the 2-day moving average, so that's good to see, because in my opinion, getting above the 2-day moving average means you can actually start being bullish again on this asset. And you want to use that 2-day moving average as support rather than resistance. And it looks like we did, come to like back test the 2-day moving average. So I think Ondo has the green light to go to higher prices. Let's see. Looking at the RSI. RSI is at 61.9, so yeah, you got a little bit of extra fuel in the rocket tank to go to higher prices if you want to. MACD, buying pressure is coming down for whatever reason, so I think enthusiasm is starting to come out of Ondo. And also, your stochastics are low, so this thing is primed and ready to go, in my opinion, to go to higher prices. You just gotta start catching some bids here. And then Market Cipher B shows that we had a red dot on Wednesday, this past Wednesday. And I think if, what comes after the red comes a green dot. So you're just waiting for a green dot to show up on the daily time frame to help you know that Ondo is actually going to probably have some bullish days coming up on it. And if it does start having some bullish days coming up on it, then, where can we go next here on Ondo? As I start to zoom out a little bit more, I do see some sideways trading price action at $1.35. I think that's probably where Ondo might get rejected, but that's about a 30% gain from where we are right now. So I would think somebody would want to start taking profits if they make 35% on Ondo, right? I would probably think about selling if I got up to that level. Let's see. Oh, I got some more requests that came in. Alright, I'll see if I can get to it, but I appreciate that. We're just going through them as they come in. First come, first serve basis here. Deuce, we actually looked at Polkadot earlier on the live stream. Maybe I might look at it again, but I got these other requests to go through as well. Alright. Okay. Yeah, upside target for Polkadot. I'm sorry, upside target on Ondo, in my opinion, is going to be $1.35, and then we'll see if it, how it does after it gets to that level. But you're just hoping to see if maybe Ondo can get back to where it was in December of 2024, Adding $2 is a long-term target for Ondo, and you basically doubled your money at that point, and you should consider clicking the sell button, in my opinion. Alright, let's see. Moving on from Ondo to AVAX Avalanche. Alright, so looking at Avalanche, currently trading at $25.30, up 1.4% today. And Avalanche is kind of similar to Ondo here, getting above its 200-day moving average, and then it also did another good thing as well. It actually bullishly backtested the 200-day moving average, confirming that this is now support, and possibly we could move up to higher prices on Avalanche. Okay, very good. That's very good to see here. And if Avalanche does continue to go up to higher prices, we eventually want to see it get past like the highs here back in May when we started at $26.84. And then we want to see it get up to where it was in January, where we started at like $36 Avalanche, which is your sideways trading price action here. Whoever bought Avalanche in like December and January at like 36 bucks, they're probably going to want to break even and click the sell button on you at like $36. So I think that is your next upside target for Avalanche going forward here. Downside targets, we'll just stick to the moving averages here. If you're not able to confirm this as a higher low, and this ends up getting, you know, if we end up blowing right past that $22.50 level here, and we don't bounce off that level, then we could come down to the 50-day moving average sitting at $21.18, or even come down to the 100 at $20.60. I think this is another level that you could consider a buying opportunity in Avalanche if it does get down to like $20 or $21 here, in my opinion. Alright, so that's your downside target and upside targets for Avalanche AVAX. Moving on to YFI. YFI currently trading at $5,654. Okay. Up 1.42% today. And let's see. We're looking at the moving averages here. YFI kind of, you know, it got above the 2-day moving average, which is this red line here. Good to see that. And it tried to do like kind of like a bullish back test, but we really dropped down like a rock here last Wednesday, this past Wednesday here, down 8.8%, and we went below the 200-day moving average, and then caught some support off the 100-day moving average, this blue line, only for us to then, now we're kind of caught in between the 50 and the 100, and we're also caught in between the 200-day, acting as resistance here. So we'll see. I think YFI could have maybe an explosive move to the upside here in the next few days. If, you know, just as fast as we came down, we might actually end up coming right back up and getting right down up to the 6,200 level all over again for YFI here. So that's something to pay attention to. Or we might do a slow staircase climb to get to that level, but I wouldn't be surprised if, you know, we just whoop, did like kind of like a V-shaped recovery here on YFI. And just zooming out here, YFI has seen higher prices, better days, especially during like the little altcoin season that we had in December of last year. I think if we get past 6,200, we'll probably see 6,500, and after 6,500, we might see 7,200. That's based off the levels that I see here, where people were buying YFI at those levels. They probably want to just get out and break even once it does get back up to like 7,200 here. Alright. I mean, I could turn on the VP, it probably will say the same thing. Yeah. High volume nodes at like 6,300. High volume nodes at 7,200. And another high volume node here at like 7,900. And then you got the value high at 8,200. So those are some areas to be thinking about selling your YFI if it does get up to that price again. Moving on to a crowd favorite. Some say we might save the best for last here, but we actually do have another coin to look at after that. But we're going to look at XRP. See how XRP is doing here today. Well, let me get rid of the VRVP for now. XRP, pleasantly surprising people to the upside, has vigorously moved past the 200-day moving average, that red line that is now way below us. And maybe going forward, this 21 EMA could act as support. 21 EMA is sitting at $3.02. It's also where the 618 and the 65 retracement is sitting at, this golden pocket level. I don't think XRP Army is going to allow XRP to go below $3. I think they refuse to let that happen, because like we kind of did come down to like $3. We came actually down to $2.96 on Thursday, and then we came down to $3 on Friday. And XRP Army is like, nope, hell no, we're not going below $3. So I get it, totally understand. And because they refuse to let us go down, then maybe we see XRP come right back to $3.28, which is where that 786 retracement is sitting at. Get past that magic number, which could act as resistance, and then you might see XRP right back at 366. Okay? And if it can get past 366, then we do have the 1272 saying we could see a $4 XRP. We could see $4.13 for the 1272 fib extension level. And then we could see the 1618 at $4.74. And then we even got the 2618 saying that maybe later on this year, or maybe, you know, early 2026, we could see $6.50 XRP. And anybody that's buying XRP right now is probably going to end up doubling their money when XRP gets up to that level. So yeah, that's very interesting to see here for XRP. I think XRP is doing quite fine. Got a lot of good things coming for it, and we still haven't even got an XRP ETF. I don't think here in the United States we don't even have an XRP spot ETF, but that could be the catalyst that sends XRP to $6, at least in my opinion. All right, moving on from XRP to Cock in You. Okay, take a look at Coke in You. We're going to try to keep it family friendly over here. Nah, there's got to be a better exchange. I need more data than that. I know Coke in You has been around for a while. Let's see, maybe Binance Exchange might have it. Oh, actually, we can do Mexi Exchange here. Alright, yeah, Mexi's got it. Joe's saying he's planning on selling his XRP at $5 and holding a little bit more until it hits $7 whenever that happens. That sounds like a good plan. I actually got a little bit of XRP myself, and I'll probably be selling it at like, you know, $5 myself if we get to those levels. Alright. XRP fans is what SSS is saying. And you're saying that we could see XRP go to $7. Yeah, that'd be nice too. And yeah, I am an XRP holder. I got a spot bag of XRP. I might even buy some more. Who knows? But yeah, we're looking at Cock in You right now, and this thing is trading at 86.24 right now. Got above the 200-day moving average. There's a possibility that we could come back down and retest the 200-day, sitting at 7,082. But if we're not going to actually come down to that level here, then where could Cock in You go next? Looks like Cock in You could possibly get up to the highs back here in May, where we saw this thing trading as high as 10,500. Yeah, 10,500 is probably the next upside target for cocking you. And yeah, let's see. Wow, I missed this move here on Saturday. Jesus, this thing caught the bids. I was actually trying to trade cocking you. I knew this thing was gonna probably do some big things here, and it literally happened yesterday. Oh my god, I missed out on that trade. I was trying to day trade cocking you about a week ago when it was like around these levels. And we bullshitly back tested the 50-day, 100-day, and then we shot up right after that. Jeez. Can't be in all of them. You can't win them all, you know. But yeah, cocking you. Might have been a forgotten meme coin here, but this thing is now catching some bids and catching some attention. And this thing could possibly go up to higher prices because we've seen this thing as high as what? 23,000, 24,000. And that'd be basically a triple from where you're at right now. So that's cocking you. Looking good on the charts here. This thing has caught my attention earlier. I did pay attention to this one. You made a higher low here on June. Lows for the year was back in April at like 3,900, almost 4,000. And this is just looking like a sweet chart to be in. You know, downside right now is just that 200-day moving average. We could come down to 7,000 all over again on cocking you, but I think this thing is ready to start doing some big things here. And it's funny, I get it, you know. What's your favorite color, cocking you? We'll try to keep it friendly, family friendly here as best as we can. Moving on from cocking you to some other coins here. Looks like we have a request for Shiba Inu. I'm gonna have to flip over my paper here, start writing things down here. So we got Shiba Inu, and we gotta look at WLKN, whatever that is. We want to look at Polkadot again, I guess. Alright, we'll look at Polkadot. We'll do it quick because I don't want to keep repeating myself, doing the same coin over and over again. And let's see, Chainlink. We got a request for Chainlink. Okay. And then we got Brett and Render. Alright. We'll get to these. I'll probably go live. I'll be live streaming for like another 40 minutes here, and then that's gonna be it. We're gonna end the stream at like 2 o'clock Eastern time here. And don't forget to hit that like button if you haven't, guys. I gotta do that shameless plug again. And if you're new to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And my TikTok guys, hit that follow button. Become another follower here. We'll take a look at my TikTok channel real quick. It's growing. I see more people are following me here. And I got like 5,100 followers here. Hey, what happened to my videos? Let me go ahead and refresh the page here. Alright, 5,129 followers, and you can see some more of my videos here where I go over some of the various altcoins out there, like Ethereum, like Bitcoin, like Moondang, and Sui. And yeah, there's me on TikTok. And I'm also on YouTube here. Let me just go to my channel real quick. I'm trying to grow my YouTube channel. Guys, if you got YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button here. I'm trying to get up to like 1,000 subscribers on my YouTube, so that way I can start monetizing this channel. And then you'll see more of me. If you guys can get me to 1,000 subscribers here, you'll see me pretty much live streaming every day. If I can, any day I can. But yeah, I got some of my YouTube shorts here. Talk about Solana, Tezos, and XRP. If you don't really have that much time, you can just look at the YouTube shorts here. And then also, for those who are new to trading, you click on the videos here for my Meet Damien channel here. That's me. That's me in the red there, and the pilot headset. I also fly airplanes, so it's another cool thing that I do. And yeah, I go over here like how to use the Fibonacci and how to trade using the Fibonacci. That's like a 20-minute video, in-depth explanation video about it. And then I got like another 16-minute video about how to use the volume range visual profile indicator. And then I also got another tutorial video here on how to actually just do the basics of how to read the candlestick chart and how to read the RSI, MACD, and stochastic RSI. And that's a video, a 14-minute video there. I do talk about stocks. I have done videos about stocks, but I notice cryptocurrency is just the cool thing to be talking about these days. So we talk about cryptos, but I can also talk about stocks. I'm not a one-trick pony. I can do stocks and crypto. I also own stocks. I have a stock, I was trading and investing in stocks since I was 18 years old, as soon as I was able to buy stocks. So I have investments. I have an IRA as well. So we can talk about stocks, and we can also talk about Fartcoin, which is another request that I got here from Nikki. All right. Yeah, so if you have YouTube, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. You'll see me on YouTube. I do TikTok and YouTube, and it's good to have both because, you know, I've had TikTok threaten to ban me over stupid stuff. Like whenever I talk about meme coins, for some reason, they think it's like a scam or something. So, you know, if something happens to my TikTok, then, you know, you can still find me on YouTube. And same thing with YouTube. If you can't find me on YouTube, you can find me on TikTok. If YouTube decides to shut me down for whatever reason. Money is asking here about MicroStrategy. Is about to post a $13 billion quarter on the 31st. Yeah, I actually own some MicroStrategy stock, so I definitely do pay attention to MicroStrategy. We can look at MicroStrategy as well, if that's going to end up being a request. Yeah, I got you, bro. Yeah, YouTube's great. I'm trying to build myself up on there. Go ahead and subscribe to my Meet Damon YouTube channel. Help me out. I'm trying to get up to 1,000 followers and become a little bit more noticed in the financial YouTube space here. Alrighty, alright, let's see. Well, I guess we'll get over to the request here. We'll take a look at WLKN as the first request. And then we'll look at Shiba Inu. WLKN. Look at it on Gate.io, sure, why not? Okay. Walk-in. I'm looking at Walk-in, currently trading at 4,050. Up 4.3% today. Ooh, this thing looks like it might have bottomed out, and it's trying to vigorously come back up again. As I start to zoom out, I just want to see how far down this thing. The thing got blown out of the water here. This thing has definitely seen better days as I zoom out some more. We started trading back in June of 2022 here. Look at this. Alright. Okay. So is this project alive? Is it dead? Like looks like we took a vicious dive after April of 2023. Is this project dead? Is there something wrong with it? I don't know. But to those who are no wiser, they might be thinking we could be bottoming out here on Walk-in. Let's see. Lows for the year. Let's see. The lowest low that we got here is back here July 5th. Yeah, or July 4th maybe? July 5th. We got as low as 2,800. And now all of a sudden we're catching some bids here. Yeah. Alright. So, with that being said, if this thing does continue catching some more bids here, we could possibly get rejected at 4,800, which is where the 100-day moving average is sitting at, and then we might even get rejected at the 200-day moving average, this red line here, sitting at 6,860 right now. But this thing is probably go down a little bit further before price catches up to it. But yeah, those are your upside targets right now: 4,800 and 6,800 for walk-in. And downside target, just stay above these candles here. It looks like the highest, I'm sorry, the higher low was put in here on June 22nd. I'm sorry, July 22nd. Excuse me. Where we were as low as 3,140. Just put your stop loss right over here. If this thing comes back and does a round trip from where we are right now, there's probably something wrong with it, and you don't want to find out what that is, and probably means we're still in the downtrend on walk-in here. But yeah, you're making some moves here. I get it. You're getting some attention and getting some bids here throughout this past week here. But I think if you do continue going up higher prices, you'll get rejected at the 100-day moving average at 48.20. And that should be your take profit target as of now. And you'll be up about roughly 20% if you get up to that level. If you're day trading it, that's a good juicy gain right there. All right, moving on from walking to Shiba. Shiba Inu currently trading at 1410, and Shiba Inu did get above the 200-day moving average. That was nice to see, and then you got rejected, came right below it, and now you're kind of squeezed in between the 100-day moving average and the 200-day moving average. 200-day moving average could act as resistance at 1427. We'll see how it handles itself, but we want to see us, get above that 200-day moving average and flip it from resistance into support and never go below it again. And things could get a lot better for Shiba Inu if that happens. And then, of course, get above the high here on July 21st. But then also we want to get above the highs here back in May, where we saw Shiba Inu at 1764. If we can get above that level, then yeah, people more excitement, and more people will start putting money into Shiba Inu, and then maybe we could see Shiba Inu get to where it was back here in December of 2024 when we were trading at 2,000. Does anybody remember those levels for Shiba Inu? And then also some sideways trading price action at 2,500. Those are your upside targets if we're gonna continue a bull run for Shiba Inu. But downside targets, we gotta take a look at the downside in case this thing decides to surprise us in a bad way here. But 100-day moving average could act as support at 1305, in my opinion here. It has already acted as support earlier this week, so I would expect it to continue acting as support if we do come down to those levels. But if we lose the 100-day moving average, then I would probably give up on Shiba Inu, to be honest, because this thing could come right back down to where it was in early July and late June when we were trading at 1100. And then, of course, I would totally give up on Shiba Inu if this thing gets down to the red line at 1000. Okay, that is a psychological target. It's also an area where we have used it as support. But if we can't hold that, then there's something clearly wrong with Shiba Inu. And do you really want to stick around to find out? I wouldn't. I actually own a little bit of Shiba Inu myself. And I'm just waiting for this thing to just continue going up to higher prices. But if it starts heading below this 50-day moving average, I might just say, alright, I'm done with Shiba Inu. And it was a good attempt and a good run, but this thing is not doing what it needs to do. It needs to stay above this 50-day moving average and start moving up to those higher prices, in my opinion. Alright, Nikki wants me to look at Vine, and then Guado wants me to look at Injective. Okay. Alright, we'll look at Vine. And we'll look at Injective. I got to kind of clean things up here a little bit. Spilled a little bit of water. Alright. And Frank wants to look at XLM. I got you, bro. Alright. Gonna do the stream for like another 30 minutes and then that's gonna be it, guys. So if you still got some last minute requests, this would be the time, but around 2 p.m. Eastern time, I'm gonna be calling it quits here. Alright. Let's see. I'm a dude says, be nice when this altcoin market actually starts. I think it might actually already started. I'm a dude. Looks like it started earlier in July. And I think if we keep doing what we're doing, we'll actually have a decent altcoin season for like the next few weeks, next few months here. Alright. So we just looked at Shiba Inu. Now we gotta quickly look at Polkadot because I already looked at this earlier. But I'm gonna give you a summary analysis on Polkadot. So Polkadot currently trading at $4.18. Your downside targets on Polkadot, you could revisit $3.58, which is where your 0.236 retracement is at. But most likely, before you even get to that level, you do have some support at the 50-day moving average and the 100-day moving average sitting at $4.07. And then going forward, we could see upside targets at like $4.48, which is where the golden pocket's sitting at, and also where the 200-day moving average is sitting at. So I think that's your near-term day trading take profit target. But if you're in it for a longer term, there is the 786 at $4.88. Let's see how it gets, how it handles itself at 539, which is where we were at back in May. Okay. And then you got your 1618 at $6.86. I think that's your long-term take profit target for later on in 2025 for Polkadot. All right, moving on from that to Chainlink. Chainlink currently trading at $18.97. And I did have some previous analysis on Chainlink. I think we talked about this coin yesterday, actually. But yeah, we're looking at Chainlink right now. Looks like we already back tested, bullishly back tested the 618 golden pocket at like $16.70. And we actually came down to $17.26. So we actually front ran the golden pocket. You're cashing some bids right now, and it looks like we're getting past the 786 retracement level. And to the upside, we want to see if we can get back up to $20.32 all over again. But if we can actually push past that high, then we might be making higher highs at like $1. I'm sorry, the 1272 level is showing that we could see Chainlink get to $22.89. And then 1618 is saying $26.17 with Chainlink. Yeah, we did talk about XRP. XRP could be heading up to $4 in the near future, and then maybe $6.50 later on in 2025. And I don't think XRP is going to go any lower than $3, because XRP Army won't even allow that to happen. Alright, so we just talked about Chainlink. Upside target, like I said, $26. Downside target, I mean, looks like the golden pocket is an area that has been front run actually. But we could see $16.70 to the downside on Chainlink, and then we could also see $16 Chainlink, which is where the 200-day moving average is sitting at. That could act as support if we ever get down to that level. Alright. Moving on from Chainlink to Render, and then we got Brett after that, and then we'll take a look at Fartcoin and then MicroStrategy. Alright. Alright. Render. So I don't give financial advice, Harvest to Hustle. You would have to talk to your financial advisor. But as far as IRAs go, you should be buying stocks, in my opinion. But if you want to get some exposure to crypto, then MicroStrategy has a big bag of Bitcoin. They've been buying lots of Bitcoin, so they're becoming like a Bitcoin stock play in the stock market. And then there's also the Bitcoin ETF and the Ethereum ETF, and they have a Solana ETF, and there might even be an XRP ETF if you're trying to get some exposure to crypto using the stock market. But then there's also like you have like Coinbase. Coinbase is a stock that makes money off of crypto, so you could buy Coinbase as a possible asset to add to your IRA. But yeah, if you haven't subscribed and followed my channel, do that, and then you'll see more of me on the Meet Damien channel here, and we talk about stocks and crypto all the time. But I don't give financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not allowed to do that. That's actually illegal for me to do that because I don't know your personal situation. I don't know how much money you have, and I don't want you suing me because you lost money in a stock or crypto. So I would never give financial advice, but I just give you my opinions and try to entertain and educate you guys at the same time. And yeah, that's pretty much what I do here on TikTok and crypto. TikTok and YouTube. Cello, we already did look at Pudgy Penguins. We looked at Pangu. It's extremely bullish. I don't know if it's ever going to come down, and if it does, people just buy it up whenever they get a chance. So I think Pudgy Penguins is on its way to 6 cents as your upside target. But I'm not going to look at it again because we already did look at it. But we're looking at Render right now. Let's get into it. Render currently trading at $4.26 here. Almost $4.27. And you're near the 200-day moving average. This 200-day moving average, this red line, could act as resistance for now. But we want to flip this to support and just continue, catching some bids and going to higher prices here. Get above what you did here back on Monday, July 21st at $4.71. Try to get above that level, and then I think you're going to get people excited again once they see $5 Render all over again, because we have seen $5 Render back in like May and back in May of this year. But we also seen $5 Render last year when it was at back in November of last year. I think most people will start selling their Render when it gets to like $7 is where we saw a Render trading at in December and January of this year. And I know some people will definitely click the sell button when they see $11 Render. But I don't know, is Render gonna actually ever get back to the highs that it made back here in March of 2024 when we saw like $13 Render? I don't know. I think most people should be happy if they actually see $10 Render, because you're gonna double your money if it does get to that point here. But yeah, Render's trying to do its thing and get above this 200-day moving average. Stop using that as resistance as you have all throughout this year, and actually start using it as support moving forward, going up into the right. But downside targets for Render, if we get rejected again off this 200-day moving average, then you could get support at like $3.85, which is where that 100-day moving average is sitting at. But if we lose this, just like I said with Chainlink, you lose that 100-day moving average. Or actually, I think I said that with Shiba Inu. But if you lose that 100-day moving average, I'm going to be very disappointed to see that. And I'm not sure if I want to stick around to be in Render if you lose that 100-day moving average at $3.85, because we might end up coming right back to the low threes here, and maybe even down to the lows of the year at like $2.60. Hopefully that doesn't happen, okay? But those are your downside targets if you lose that 100-day moving average at $3.85. Crypto Cruz, we actually did look at Pepe. Pepe, I'll just quickly look at it one more time here and do it very quick here. Appreciate you making the request. If you have another request, go ahead and shoot away. But actually, I don't think I can do more requests, to be honest, because I'm going to be ending the live stream in like 15-20 minutes from now. But yeah, Pepe sitting at the 618 golden pocket retracement. You could get some support off the 50-day moving average at the 1,000 or 1,100 in that area. And then upside target, you're looking at possibly a 2,000 Pepe, where you got the 1272 hanging out there, and then also the 1618 at 2,300. Okay. All right. So that's Pepe in a nutshell. Moving on from Pepe to Brett and Fartcoin. What we got on Binance? Oh god, I already got some previous analysis here. I'll get rid of this, clean up the charts here a little bit. We're looking at, was it Brett? Yeah, Brett. Currently trading at 0.058 pennies, up 4% today. Very nice to see. And Brett, just like some of these other altcoins, you know, moved past the 200-day moving average, probably made it to like a 1272 fib extension, and then got rejected. And now we're bullishly back testing the 200-day moving average, using it as support. So that's good to see. And I think we can be off to the races again for Brett coin. Stay above these candlewick lows here. Don't go lower than 5 cents here. Maybe put your stop loss at 5 cents. And you're just hoping to ride this puppy up to higher prices. And if it does go to higher prices, we want to see it eventually get above the highs here in May at like 9 cents. Okay? Get above that area, and then maybe you can start working your way towards the highs that you were making here back in January when we saw like 16-cent Brent. But let me go ahead, since we got some data on this now, let me go ahead and turn the VRVP indicator and let's see what the VRVP indicator has to say about things. This is this green and red indicator off to the right. You get a value area high at like roughly 9 cents. I think 9 cents is going to be a take profit target for a lot of people, especially for those who bought at that area and have lost money. They can actually sell and break even when it gets up to 9 cents. So I think 9 cents is definitely your upside target on Brett. And then downside, don't go lower. Like I said, don't go lower than 5 cents. But if you do go lower than 5 cents, you might see 4.5 cents come next, and then you got the value area low at like 3 cents here. So those are your downside targets on Brett if it does go down to that level. Moving on from Brett to Fartcoin. I haven't had a request for Fartcoin, I don't think ever on this live stream, or maybe I did, but it's been a while. All right, so let's look at Fartcoin. Now I know the degens are here when they're requesting Fartcoin. Fartcoin currently trading at $1.35, up 2.5% today. So far, so good. Oh, I have done some previous chart work here, and looks like Fartcoin. Let me get rid of the VRVP for now. Fartcoin is just chilling at the 0.786 retracement at $1.34. Hopefully, you're able to see that. Let me see if I can change the settings here. I want to change the order a bit. Bring it to the front. Yeah, I don't know. The blue kind of like blends in with the green here. But this is saying 0.786 is at $1.34, and that's literally what you're at for Fartcoin. If Fartcoin starts going down for whatever reason, you should get some support near the 50-day moving average, sitting at $1.19, and also the 6.5 retracement at $1.14. This golden pocket level could act as support. But if you start catching some bids here and actually go up to higher prices, let's see if we can get past $1.65 on Fartcoin. All right, and then we got the 1618 saying that Fartcoin could get up to $2.54 in the near future. And if it does that, that's almost like a double from where you are right now. Has Fartcoin ever been that high? Looks like it has been as high as like $2.74 on January of the day right before Donald Trump got elected on January 19th, when things were going crazy in meme coin world. But yeah, it looks like you could head to that level, at least head to like $2.54 for your 1618 long-term take profit target. Yep, Deuce putting rocket ship on Polkadot. We have looked at Polkadot already. And we looked at it twice. I'm not gonna do that again. Alright. Moving on from Fartcoin to a stock, MicroStrategy, which is a company, a software company that has a CEO that loves Bitcoin so much. They keep buying as much Bitcoin as they possibly can, selling the shares of the company. They just go buy some more Bitcoin. But yeah, I have an arrow saying that looks like MicroStrategy is going to continue going up here. And if it does continue going up, like I do have a previous Fibonacci analysis here on MicroStrategy. Looks like we're currently right now we're trading at just above the 0.5 retracement. The golden pocket could act as resistance at $430 MicroStrategy. And if MicroStrategy continues getting past that, then there could be some resistance at the 786 at 474, and then I would expect, you know, a lot of resistance at 539. I think that was the highest MicroStrategy's ever been. Yeah, this candle wick high. Oh, it was actually 543 on the November 21st of 2024. Let me just adjust that a little bit. 543. So that's going to be, yeah. But if MicroStrategy can get past 543, then we do have a 1272 saying that, yeah, $627 MicroStrategy is a possibility later on in 2025 here. Or maybe in 2026. Who knows? Well, it all depends on how high the price of Bitcoin goes and how fast it does it. Getting up to these higher prices, and we are going to look at Bitcoin at the end of the live stream. That's when I'll end the live stream, is when we finish off on Bitcoin here. But yeah, I think, you know, as long as Bitcoin is doing well, MicroStrategy will do well. But downside target, you could see 354 all over again here, which is where the 0.382 retracement is at for MicroStrategy. And also you got the 50-day moving average at 360. That could act as support as well for the traders and investors that use the moving averages, the 50-day moving average. So that's MicroStrategy, downside, upside targets. And we'll move on from there to Vine, and then we got Injective, and then XLM. And then that's going to be it for the live stream. After after XLM will be Bitcoin, and that's going to be it. I've already gone live for like almost 2 hours there, and that was my goal. I was trying to do a 2-hour live stream here. Alrighty. Looks like we have a question from Amadude about, will Jerome Powell lower rates next month? Is the only question you have. I think you mean, like, are they gonna lower rates this week? Because I think they have an FOMC meeting on Wednesday here. I could double check that for you. Let's see, FOMC meeting schedule. I know they don't do interest rate decisions in August. I know that for a fact. They go on like a vacation, and they go to Jackson, Wyoming every year, every August. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. Let me go back. Yeah, this is where I click on. Yeah, so for the month of July, on July 29th is when you're going to get your interest rate decision, and then they skip August. And then after August, they'll do another interest rate decision meeting on September 17th. Okay, and then you got October and December there. And this is off the Federal Reserve website. Okay? Alright. Hopefully that answers your question. Oh, and I don't know if they're going to lower interest rates, but hopefully they might do that this week. Who knows? Vine is the next asset we got to look at. Alright, take a look at Vine. What is going on here? This thing has got a nice green daily candle. Oh my god, this thing is up 60%. This thing is up 60% today. Jesus Christ. It's a video sharing app, and now they're putting it on the blockchain here. I remember when Vines used to be popular, even before TikTok and YouTube became a thing. People were doing Vines, and it's just sad that that it died off. But yeah, looks like Vine, the cryptocurrency, is had better days here in January 2025. You saw this thing trading as high as 47 cents. Okay. And since then, it's just lost people money. But now, you're catching some bids out of nowhere on Vine. That's very interesting. And I don't have much to work with. Moving averages, you're clearly above the moving averages right now. Moving averages, looks like the 21 EMA is sitting at 0.043 pennies, and you got 50-day at 0.039 pennies. Yeah, that could be support if you ever come down to those levels again. I'm gonna have to just do a Fibonacci on this thing, okay? Measuring from where we got as high as what do we got? We got as high as like almost 11 cents today. Okay, down to, I'll just do down to the impulse move here. If Vine starts to go down on us, and not in a good way, then we could come down to the 786 retracement at 0.093 pennies, and then we might actually catch some more bids here near the golden pocket retracement at like 8 pennies. Okay, this orange and yellow level here could be where we end up most likely going if this thing decides to come down. But if we continue being bullish here, we got the 1272 saying this thing could get up to like 12, almost 13 pennies here. And then we got the 1618 saying it could actually get up to like 15 pennies. That's like a 50% move from where we are right now. And let me just look at the RSI, because I bet you this thing is overbought. Yeah. And it is. RSI is showing that we are at an RSI of 88.7. So I would expect this thing to stop going up, most likely go sideways, and even more likely for it to go down than to continue going up to higher prices, because we're already overbought on the daily time frame. But I don't know. It could pleasantly surprise us to continue to go up to the upside, and I think that upside is going to be about 12, 13 pennies here. See, HRJ Trading's in there. Yep, bango bango. Thank you for coming on to the live stream. Yeah, clearly missed the move on this thing, but you can't catch them all, just like Trade Intuition said. You can't catch all these moves. Too many coins, and some look great, but some of them don't move because the money is in other coins, mainly memes and dino coins. Yep, yeah. All right. Moving on from Vine to Injective. I haven't seen anybody request Injective in a while. Has Injective finally caught some bids? Because I think I own a little bit of it. Probably not enough of it, but is Injective finally going to catch some bids here? We'll find out. Injective, currently trading at 2.5%, has gotten some green candles here. And I did see a chart, I can't remember what coin, but there was a coin that actually came down like this, bullishly back to the 200-day moving average. And we're waiting for that coin to do basically what Injective is doing right now. So Injective is looking good right now because it got above the 200-day moving average, bullishly back tested it. So now we know we can confirm this as support. And this is now a higher low on the daily time frame. And now we're just looking to see if we can run up to higher prices here and make higher highs. The high that we got to get past is $15.71, and we only got to like $15.39 today. But you know, today's not. There's still some more day left here. We got about roughly 6 hours left. You can see my timer ticking down here. We got 6 hours and 2 minutes left in this day, and let's see if we can get above $15.71, and you can consider being even more bullish on Injective if it does that. Yeah, Injective finally catching some business, some attention here. But if Injective can continue going up to higher prices, I'm just zooming out here and looking at the previous price action on Injective, but you know, just quickly eyeballing it, I see $21 possibly as a take profit target, long-term target, swing trading target for Injective. And then I also see $36, and I bet you the VRVP would agree with me on that. If I turn on the VRVP, yeah, you got some high volume nodes here at like $21. Then you got another one here at 23, and you got the value area high at 27 bucks. And then you lose some of that volume, and then you won't get much resistance until you get to like 34, 35 bucks, and that's going to basically be a double in price from where Injective is right now. So that VRVP indicator is indicating that you should be selling your Injective when it gets to $34 or $35, and yeah, you should be happy because you doubled your money with Injective. But still, you know, quite a ways to go. I believe a lot of these cryptos are gonna double the investors' money, including XRP, which is trading at $3. I think XRP can get up to $6. But yeah, I think we got some good few weeks, good few months ahead of us. I'm not sure. I'm not subscribing to the super cycle theory like some other YouTubers, and I believe Porky Flounder is another great YouTuber. He's a super cycle believer, but I don't think we're gonna get that. I think something might happen. I know people are excited about interest rates possibly getting lowered later on this year, and that could cause the excitement for crypto to go up. But there might be something happening that we don't know of, like a black swan event. You know, we've seen literally out of nowhere a war break out between Cambodia and Thailand. No one had that on their bingo card. I don't mean to be rude, but no one was thinking that was going to happen in 2025. So what could happen in 2026 that could knock the markets down? Maybe another war with a significant country attacking another bigger significant country. Could possibly be something with China and Taiwan where America has to get involved. That could rock the markets. Or it could be something like another COVID-19 event, right? COVID 2026 could rock the markets. So, you know, if you double your money with these assets, please consider clicking the sell button, because you don't know what could happen the next day, the next week, the next month, and we don't know what's gonna happen in 2026. But that's why I can't be a subscriber to super cycles. And then even if we do get up to higher prices and everybody becomes rich or whatever, someone's going to click the sell button so they can actually go buy a yacht. So when that happens, that's going to send the prices down. So I cannot subscribe to the theory of a super cycle, in my opinion. But yeah, we just got finished looking at Injective. Did I look at the downside targets? Yeah, downside target's probably going to just be the 200-day moving average if it does come back down to like $12.72. And then we got the other moving averages at like $11.86 and $11. So I think $11, $12 should be a good support area, support zone, a buying opportunity if Injective ever comes down to that price again. Now we got to move on to XLM, and then we'll look at Bitcoin. XLM. USD. Actually, I'll take that out. I already see XLM showing up here. Stellar Lumens on Coinbase Exchange. Stellar Lumens, XLM, trading at 44 pennies. You're coming up right against this 786 retracement. As I start to zoom in a little bit here. The 786 retracement level at 45 cents could act as resistance, possibly. But if you move past that level, then we'll probably end up revisiting 52 cents all over again on XLM, which is where we're at on Friday, July 18th. And then upside targets past that, you got the 1272 at 60 cents, and you got the 1618 at 70 cents. So I think, you know, it's really easy, right? Once you make it past 50, then you go to 60. Once you make it past 60, then you go to 70 cents on XLM. All right. And those are your upside targets. Just using Fibonacci. Now, if we end up losing the momentum, the bullish momentum, and we come down, we could revisit the lows again here at 40 cents, which is where the 618 retracement is at, the golden pocket retracement. And then we could end up going lower to like only 37 cents, where the 0.5 retracement is at. But I don't know why you would lose those levels unless Bitcoin is dropping like a rock. I think more likely, with Bitcoin retesting all-time highs, possibly later on this week, we could see XLM go up back to 52 cents and then the 60 cent level all over again. All right. I'm not doing any more requests. Crypto guy with 2 eggs and a bear. If you want to, you can make a request on the Meet Damien Discord. I have a free Discord here, and I can do chart requests. Right? I usually post up when I'm going live here almost every day when I do go live. But I also look at the chart requests. So if you have a chart request, like in this case, this guy was asking about TRB, and I did an analysis on TRB, and I said it could go up to like $67 in my opinion as a take profit target. I can do that for you. You would have to join the Meet Damien channel, and because you're on TikTok, I would need you to follow me and then send me a message, and I'll give you the link to come join the Discord, right? That is the Discord link right there. I can send it to you in the message if you message me, and we can look at rows. All right, and then for my YouTube guys, if you have a request or if you just want to join the Meet Damien Discord channel, it's in the description. And also you can just ask me in the comments, and I'll be able to just repost the invite link. But yeah, come join the Meet Damien Discord and come check out the community here. And that's my little plug for my Meet Damien Discord channel. All right, so yeah, we looked at XLM upside downside. I think XLM will do quite fine and catch some more bids. More likely to go to the upside than the downside. And then RSI is comfortably at 63, so we're ready to go as long as Bitcoin gives us the green light, and we can go to higher prices on XLM here. All right. Moving on to Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin doing? Is it finally catching some bids? Oh yes! Bitcoin at $119,000. Bitcoin trading at $119,384, up $1,400 today. And I think Bitcoin is doing what is necessary for us to actually go to higher prices and get the green light for altcoin season to continue on. I think altcoin season actually started here in July. I think it started after we got that stablecoin bill passed. Is the beginning of the altcoin season that we're seeing for the summer of 2025. And I think, as more money pours into the space, we're going to do quite fine and quite alright here in cryptocurrency world. And I actually got to start buying up some more spot bags here. I actually bought some SUI myself earlier this week at like 373, so that was a good trade that I made so far. And that's a long term. I'm in it SUI for the long term here until we get too overbought again on Bitcoin. Then they'll probably sell only for me to buy back in again. But yeah, I like trading SUI when I can. But yeah. Let's finish up the analysis here on Bitcoin. Bitcoin at $119,300, doing what it needs to do to retest. Hopefully we're able to get up to the $120,000 psychological target. That's when more people around the world get excited to see Bitcoin at $120,000. And then of course, after we get past 120, then we got to get above $123,000, where that is your all-time high for Bitcoin. And let's see, do I have analysis? Yeah, I do have a Fibonacci analysis. If we get past that all-time high of $123,200 Bitcoin, then your upside target on Bitcoin after that should be about 130 grand, which is where the 1272 is sitting at. And then you got 138 grand at where the 1618 is sitting at. And then even further, later on in 2025, I think we will see $163,000 Bitcoin And then 188,000 on Bitcoin, I think is still possible. And that's the 3618. And just give you some more confirmation that this is possible for us to see Bitcoin go to those high prices. If I turn on the Pi cycle top indicator here, which has helped us figure out where the top of Bitcoin is going to be, this green line is saying that Bitcoin needs to get to $178,000 before we even start talking about it topping out in this cycle. So there's a lot of room to the upside, in my opinion, on Bitcoin. And I think Bitcoin is going to pleasantly surprise a lot of cryptocurrency investors as the weeks and months go by. In the next few weeks, next few months, I am of the opinion that between now and the end of this year, there's going to be a really good altcoin season for all of us, and a really good year for cryptocurrency investors. But I believe towards the end of the year is when we're going to need to start consider selling our crypto, just like we did 4 years ago in 2021. Was the best time to be selling your Bitcoin was in November of 2021, and your Ethereum in November of 2021. And I think the same thing might happen November of this year, or maybe it might even happen in October or December. But around that time is when I think we should consider selling our crypto. And if you're a day trader, maybe start looking for some shorts and some cryptos that you think are going to suffer in the next bear market, because there will be another bear market. We just don't know when. But I'm suspecting the bear market is going to be just like it did in 2021. It's going to probably happen. I mean, just like it did in 2022. We're probably going to see a bear market in 2026. And we're waiting for, this orange line here on the Pi cycle indicator to catch up to the green line. And when it does that, I am out. I will tell you guys I'm out. You guys might call me crazy, stupid, or premature, but that's my signal, along with some other signals here that I'll eventually talk about to you guys. That's going to be one of my signals to get out of crypto, so I don't lose what I made. I don't want to round trip my profits. Okay. Another signal that I'm going to be looking for is like when Coinbase becomes the #1 app on the App Store, and also Google Trends. Not mainly, I think everybody knows what Bitcoin is by now, including people who don't invest in Bitcoin. They already know what it is. That's why they chose not to invest in it, or they did. But I think when Coinbase becomes the #1 app, and then also when Google Trends starts showing like altcoins, when you start seeing altcoins as a trending topic on Google Trends, and some of the popular altcoins like Solana and XRP, once you see those start making high marks on Google Trends, that's probably when you need to get the hell out, because everybody's looking that stuff up, and that's a good time to get out, in my opinion. Also, I'm going to be looking at the weekly RSI on Bitcoin. So like right now, I'm on the daily time. Oh shit, I just messed that up. Right now, on the weekly time frame for Bitcoin, right? If I go on to the RSI, I'm gonna have to pull that up here real quick. Excuse me. This is gonna help me figure out when's a good time to get out of crypto and get out of Bitcoin. Like when we saw the weekly RSI back in March of 2024, we saw that as high as 86 for a weekly RSI. March of 2024, I don't know if you guys were in crypto at that time, but that was when Bitcoin hit $70,000 before we even had the halving, before the Bitcoin halving even happened. And then also here, for those who remember last year, in November and December of 2024, we had an RSI, a weekly RSI of like 77. So once the RSI gets into like the high 70s or the high 80s, that's going to be a good time to get out of Bitcoin, get out of crypto. Okay, right now the weekly RSI is at 69, so we're getting close to being overbought. But I still think we have a few good weeks, few good months where we can be overbought for a while. All right, because look what happened back in 2021. RSI, you know, November of 2020, and then going all throughout 2020 here, we had, you know, RSI like 90 on Bitcoin. And then here in February of 2021, we had like an RSI of 85, and that was like when Bitcoin was at like $50,000 for like the first time ever. And then people kind of got thrown off for a loop here, but yeah, RSI, very good indicator to tell you like when the hell to get out of Bitcoin and crypto, especially on the weekly time frame. I'm gonna be paying attention to that because we're almost there. But when we get to like high 70s, high 80s, that's another indicator to let you know that you need to get out of Bitcoin and crypto because you're overbought, and the likelihood of you going down is very high at that point. Alright, so yeah, that's Bitcoin in a nutshell for the most part. I don't think I need to look at the downside targets, but yeah, sure. Bitcoin didn't really, I mean, we kind of bullshitly back tested the 6.5 retracement at $114,500 Bitcoin. We actually front ran it earlier this week. And yeah, I think we have to lose $114,000 in order for us to see Bitcoin go even lower, down to make maybe the $110,000 level. But yeah, I think Bitcoin wants to go up rather than down, in my opinion. But we shall see. That's why we go on these live streams to see what might happen next. But I think we're going up rather than down on Bitcoin, and I think there might be more money pouring into Bitcoin and crypto this week coming up. And another positive catalyst could be interest rate decision on Wednesday. We might actually see interest rates get lowered in the United States, and that could be another positive catalyst that's going to send Bitcoin to $130,000, $140,000, $150,000 Bitcoin, in my opinion. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this live stream. Appreciate you guys coming in, and just be on the lookout for when I go live. I can't really give you any set dates or times here because I'm on vacation. I'm trying to actually enjoy my vacation, which I'm about to do right now when I get off this live stream here. But yeah, I usually go live anywhere between early in the afternoon to towards the end of, you know, around dinner time here on the East Coast, Eastern time here. Okay. But yeah, guys, that's gonna be it for the live stream. Be on the lookout. I might do some YouTube shorts or some TikToks, especially if I see an interesting coin and an interesting setup. But yeah, that's going to be it for today. I'll see you guys on the next live stream. Take care.